Seniors, mix castor oil and baking soda like this to treat 14 health problems immediately. Have you ever looked down at your hands, your knees, or your tired eyes in the mirror and whispered, "When did it get this hard?" Maybe it's the stiffness in the morning that makes you pause before getting out of bed. Or the dry, itchy skin that just won't quit no matter what cream you use. Or maybe it's that quiet little hope. We all carry the hope that maybe, just maybe, there's something simple, natural, and safe that can help us feel more like ourselves again. I'm not talking about miracle pills or late night infomercial magic. I'm talking about two humble things you might already have in your kitchen: castor oil and baking soda. Now, I know that might sound like something your great Aunt Edna would whip up with a wink and a wooden spoon, but stay with me, because when used the right way, this gentle duo can do something amazing for your skin, your joints, even your sense of peace. Let's walk through this together, one small, healing step at a time. And if you're new here, welcome. Hit that subscribe button so we can keep sharing these little known but powerful ways to care for yourself. You deserve it. Part 1. The pain in Helen's knees and the oil. She almost forgot. Helen is 74, lives in Michigan, and makes the best blueberry muffins on her block. But lately, the simple act of standing by the stove, stirring her batter, has made her wince. Her knees, once strong from years of gardening and raising 3 kids, now ache with every step. It's like they creak before I do. She jokes, but behind that smile is discomfort she didn't sign up for. One day, while sorting through an old bathroom cabinet, she found a dusty bottle of castor oil and a box of baking soda, left over from when she used to make her own skin masks. Curious, she looked them up again, and what she found surprised her. Let me explain why this matters. Castor oil isn't just an old folk remedy. It's rich in something called ricinoleic acid, which science shows has real anti-inflammatory effects. Think of it like a natural cooling blanket. It soaks into the skin and dives deep, calming angry joints from the inside out. Now pair that with baking soda, which isn't just for cookies. When applied to the skin, it gently exfoliates, improves blood flow, and helps reduce the acidity that builds up in sore tissues. Like adding circulation to comfort, together, they do something incredible. Castor oil gets in there and soothes. Baking soda clears the way and enhances healing. It's like giving your knees a soft massage with science. In my 12 years seeing patients, I've found that some of the most overlooked remedies are the simplest, especially when we apply them the right way with patience, consistency, and care. Helen started applying a warm mix of castor oil and baking soda to her knees every night before bed. Just a light massage, then wrapping the area with a warm cloth. Within 2 weeks, she wasn't dreading the stairs as much. Within a month, she was back in the kitchen dancing to Sam Cooke while those muffins baked. But here's the thing. If we ignore that kind of joint pain, it doesn't just go away. It grows. It steals freedom, the freedom to walk, to play, to garden, to hug grandkids without flinching. That's why finding even the gentlest relief matters. So if your joints are whispering or shouting for help, maybe it's time to answer with something as simple and kind as this old remedy. Let's keep going, because this castor oil and baking soda duo isn't just good for knees. There's another part of your body that desperately needs it too, and it might be your skin. Part 2. Dorothy's wrinkled reflection and the skin that wanted to breathe again. Dorothy, 79, from Arizona, used to love her skin, even in her 60s. She'd walk past the mirror, smile, and say, "Not bad, old girl." But lately, she'd been avoiding her reflection. The dry patches on her cheeks, the thinning skin on her arms, the deepening lines that no cream seemed to soften at all felt like too much. She told me once, "It's like my skin just gave up." But here's the truth. I want you to hear your skin hasn't given up. Sometimes it just needs something gentler and smarter than all those fancy jars with gold lettering. Let me walk you through the science. Gently, castor oil, thick and golden, is full of fatty acids that go deep into your skin's layers, locking in moisture in a way that mimics what your body used to do naturally. It's also a quiet little stimulator of collagen, the protein that keeps skin firm and bouncy. And baking soda used carefully, it helps your skin shed what's dead dry cells that dull your natural glow. It restores the skin's pH balance, which is often thrown off by aging, harsh soaps, and stress. I always tell my patients, your skin is your story. Don't let it dry out before the final chapter. Dorothy started using a gentle paste made with a teaspoon of castor oil and half a teaspoon of baking soda. Just a light rub once a day, not scrubbing, not rushing, just kindness in motion. After 3 weeks, she sent me a photo. The glow was back, but more importantly, so was the smile. If we ignore dry, aging skin, we risk more than wrinkles. We risk infections, tearing, and that feeling of fragility that steals confidence. But when we nourish it, we give our body and spirit permission to shine again. So if you've been reaching for another jar of empty promises, maybe it's time to reach for what's already in your kitchen. And your story, like Dorothy's, might just turn a page. Now, what about the nights when you lie in bed, your stomach bubbling, your chest tight from indigestion? Let's talk about how this humble duo can help from the inside, too. Part 3. Frank's late-night burps and the calm. His stomach forgot. Frank, 72 from Alabama, doesn't like to complain, but after dinner, when the house is quiet and the TV's humming in the background, that tight, bloated feeling starts to creep up. Sometimes it's a burn in his chest. Sometimes it's a burp that won't stay down. And sometimes he wakes up at 2 a.m. with his hand on his belly, whispering, "What did I eat?" Sound familiar? I see this all the time in my practice. Seniors who eat the same meals they always have, but suddenly their digestive system isn't playing along anymore. But here's the thing. It's not just age, it's inflammation, it's imbalance. And it's often that sneaky excess stomach acid we ignore until it bubbles over. This is where baking soda becomes a quiet hero. Baking soda, or sodium bicarbonate, is a natural alkaline buffer. That means it gently neutralizes stomach acid, giving your gut a chance to rest. Think of it like a fire extinguisher, not to be used every day, but when the heartburn flares up, it douses the flame. And castor oil. It's not for drinking, don't worry, but when used as a warm abdominal compress, it helps relax the intestinal muscles, reducing spasms and bloating. It's like giving your belly a hug from the inside. Frank tried this on a whim after his granddaughter showed him a video. He warmed some castor oil, soaked a cloth, laid it over his belly, and rested with a heating pad for 30 minutes. He did it every evening for a week, and the belching, the bloating, even the random nausea, all started to ease. I won't lie. This doesn't work overnight for everyone. But when we take the time to care for our gut, we're really caring for the second brain of our body. A calm belly leads to better sleep, better energy, and a whole lot less worry. Ignore digestion, and the consequences ripple poor sleep, weak immunity, even brain fog. But soothe your belly, and you soothe your whole being. So next time dinner leaves you restless, remember Frank. And remember that something as simple as warmth and a pantry staple might be all your belly's been asking for. Coming up next, let's talk about eyes. Yes, those tired, puffy eyes that tell the world exactly how you slept, because this remedy can help there too. Part 4. Marie's puffy mornings and the eyes that longed to wake up gently. Marie, 68 from Oregon, still writes letters by hand. Every Thursday, she sends one to her sister in Maine, often sealed with a doodle or a pressed leaf. But lately, Marie had stopped writing early in the morning. She told me, "I don't like the way my eyes look in the mirror anymore. Puffy, tired, sagging like her reflection hadn't caught up with the rest of her day." Now picture this. You wake up after a full night's sleep, but your eyes still look like you haven't rested in weeks. That soft swelling beneath the eyes isn't just cosmetic. It can be a signal of poor circulation, water retention, or inflammation in those delicate tissues. And that's exactly where our gentle kitchen duo steps in again. Castor oil, with its deeply hydrating nature, helps soften the thin skin around the eyes. Its anti-inflammatory properties reduce puffiness while nourishing from within, kind of like watering a dry plant, but slowly and tenderly. Baking soda, in tiny amounts, can boost circulation when used carefully in a diluted mix. It gently tightens and tones, helping reduce that morning balloon effect. Marie started using a tiny blend, 1 teaspoon of castor oil with half a pinch of baking soda. She applied it gently beneath her eyes with her ring finger, the softest touch. Let it sit for 15 minutes, then rinsed with lukewarm water. It became her new ritual before her coffee, before the news, before that weekly letter. And what she found wasn't just that her eyes looked less tired. She felt less tired because when you look in the mirror and see life instead of fatigue, your day starts on a different note. From a medical standpoint, under eye puffiness can reflect fluid buildup, sinus pressure, or even kidney strain. So, addressing it naturally without harsh chemicals or tightening gels is more than just vanity. It's respect for your face, your rhythm, your rest. If ignored, that area can thin, wrinkle, or show signs of deeper imbalance. But tended to gently, it reflects vitality. So the next time you rub your eyes in the mirror and sigh, think of Marie. And think of that little moment of self-care you can give yourself before you write the next beautiful page of your day. And speaking of pages, did you know this same mixture can help erase a few, especially those old skin memories called scars and stretch marks? Let's talk about that next. Part 5. Leon's story. The stretch marks that told more than one story. Leon is 76 from North Carolina, and he's lived a big life. Retired firefighter, 3 kids, 2 surgeries, and one long scar stretching across his lower belly, the quiet souvenir of a life saved by good medicine, but also marked by years of hard work and healing. He once told me, "Doc, I don't care much about looks at my age, but every now and then I see that scar, and I just wish it didn't look angry." You know, sometimes our skin carries stories we're proud of, and sometimes ones we wish could fade just a little. That's where this gentle, natural combination of castor oil and baking soda can offer more than just physical help. It can offer peace. Let me explain why. Scars, stretch marks, and dark spots happen when the skin is pulled, injured, or inflamed. The body rushes to repair itself, but it often does so in a hurry, leaving behind tissue that's less flexible and more visible. Castor oil, rich in fatty acids, dives deep into the skin and stimulates collagen production, the very protein that gives skin its elasticity and strength. It softens the thickened edges of scar tissue and helps the skin rebuild from underneath. Baking soda, meanwhile, is like a very soft broom. It exfoliates the outer layer of dead skin cells, not in a harsh way, but gently, giving your body the cue to refresh and renew. When Leon began using the mixture, a teaspoon of castor oil with half a teaspoon of baking soda, massaged into his scar daily, he didn't expect much. "It's just a scar," he said. But 3 weeks later, his wife noticed. "It's smoother," she whispered one night, running her hand over it. That moment, he told me, meant more than any medical chart ever could. Here's the deeper truth the skin remembers, but it can also be reminded to heal, to forgive, to soften. If left alone, old scars can become hard, tight, even itchy. Stretch marks, though harmless, can make us feel disconnected from our bodies, but when treated with kindness and patience, they fade. Not always completely, but enough to let us reconnect with the skin we live in. So, if you have a mark that still whispers, when you look in the mirror, know that you're not alone, and know that healing, even decades later, is still possible. Now let's take this a step deeper, because healing isn't just about scars. It's also about protection. And this duo might be one of your best kept secrets for fighting off infections naturally. Part 6. June's garden hands and the hidden germs. She didn't see coming. June, 71 from Pennsylvania, has a garden that could make anyone stop and stare. Roses, tomatoes, lavender. She says the soil calms her, especially after a tough day. But last spring, after pulling weeds without gloves, she noticed something odd. A little redness near her fingernails. Then itching. Then a small painful patch on her wrist. She brushed it off. Just a bug bite, she thought. But a week later, it spread. Turns out it was fungal and stubborn. And like so many seniors I've treated, June discovered something important as we age. Our skin doesn't bounce back like it used to. Infections can sneak in quietly, under the radar, and stay. This is where castor oil and baking soda can quietly shine. Castor oil contains a compound called ricinoleic acid, which is naturally antifungal and antibacterial. It doesn't just sit on the surface, it penetrates the skin, helping to calm inflammation and kill microbes where they hide. And baking soda. Its alkaline nature disrupts the ideal environment that bacteria and fungi love. Think of it like cleaning house. It raises the pH, making it much harder for unwanted guests to settle in. June mixed equal parts castor oil and baking soda and gently applied the paste to her wrist twice a day. It tingled at first, but within a week, the patch stopped spreading. Within 2, the itching was gone. But more than that, she felt empowered, like she had taken her health back into her own garden-stained hands. From a doctor's view, the skin is our body's first line of defense. But when it's thin, dry, or cracked, especially on aging hands, feet, or joints, it's like leaving the front door open during flu season. Ignoring small infections can lead to bigger problems: cellulitis, nail fungus, even systemic issues in immune-compromised individuals. But caring for your skin early and naturally can prevent so much more than just discomfort. So if you're someone who works with your hands, or if you notice an odd itch that won't go away, try what June did. Let nature step in before prescriptions need to. Now, speaking of skin, there's another place where age leaves its quiet mark around your nails. Dry, brittle, discolored. Let's talk about how this little remedy can bring your nails back to life. Part 7. Robert's fingernails and the strength he thought was gone. Robert, 75, from Minnesota, was a carpenter for over 40 years, built his own house, raised 4 kids under that roof. His hands strong, rough, reliable, once held beams, hammers, and dreams. But lately, his nails had started cracking, peeling, turning yellow in spots. Guess they're just old, he muttered one day during a checkup. But I looked him in the eye and said, old doesn't mean broken, it means lived in. And sometimes lived in things need a little more care, not less. Here's what was really going on. As we age, our circulation slows and our nails get less oxygen and nutrients. That makes them weaker. Add in the years of wear and tear, and suddenly your fingernails can become brittle, split, even vulnerable to fungal infections, especially around the toes or where there's been damage. Now, here's where castor oil and baking soda come in like quiet helpers. Castor oil, full of vitamin E and essential fatty acids, nourishes the nail bed, softens the cuticles, and supports healthy nail growth. It even helps fight off fungus thanks to its antibacterial properties. Baking soda, with its gentle exfoliation and alkalizing nature, cleanses the nail surface and keeps the area hostile to fungal overgrowth, especially that thick yellow stuff that makes many seniors hide their hands in public. Robert started soaking his fingertips in warm water, then massaging a mix of castor oil and baking soda into each nail. Just 10 minutes a day. He'd sit by the window, radio playing old country tunes, and do his hand therapy, as he called it. After a month, something beautiful happened. His nails didn't just look better. They felt stronger. No more splits. No more embarrassment. He showed his grandkids with pride, saying, "See, these still got work left in them. If we ignore nail health, it's not just a cosmetic issue." It can lead to pain, infections, and loss of independence. Ever tried buttoning a shirt with a cracked thumbnail? It matters. But when we give those 10 little windows into our health the care they deserve, it does more than restore beauty. It restores dignity. So if your hands tell stories of a life well lived, let's help them keep writing. And now, let's finish strong, because there's one more thing. This simple mixture, does it lifts you up when everything feels weighed down. So let's take a breath together. You've just walked through 8 very real stories. Not miracle cures, not magic potions, just 2 humble ingredients, castor oil and baking soda used with care, consistency, and compassion. We've seen Helen ease the ache in her knees. We've watched Dorothy rediscover her skin's glow. Frank found peace in his belly. Marie softened the tiredness in her eyes. Leon gave grace to his scars. June protected her garden hands. Robert brought life back to his nails. Evelyn finally slept and healed. These aren't just results, they're reminders. Reminders that healing doesn't always come in a bottle with a prescription label. Sometimes it comes in a warm compress, a soft daily massage, a tiny pause of love you give yourself before the world wakes up. Here's what I've learned in all my years sitting with patients. Healing doesn't start with a diagnosis, it starts with listening to your knees, your gut, your skin, your breath. That quiet voice that says, "I want to feel better, but I don't know where to begin." This is a place to begin, because growing older doesn't mean giving up comfort. It doesn't mean trading strength for stiffness or trading softness for suffering. It means learning new ways to care for yourself. It means remembering that you still deserve energy, dignity, and peace. So if this video reminded you of your own body or someone you love, maybe a friend, a sister, a neighbor who's also struggling. Quietly, please share it with them. Healing loves company. And if something surprised you today, a story, a remedy, a feeling, let me know in the comments below. I read them all, and I'm honored to walk this journey with you. You are not broken. You are not forgotten. You are still healing. And I'll be right here across the kitchen table whenever you need someone to walk you through the next small step. Until next time, stay warm, stay kind, and don't forget, even the gentlest remedies can hold the loudest kind of hope.